What is healing to you? Is there such a thing as being healed?
No, because we're healing all the time. I don't think we're totally healed because we're evolving. And that's part of our evolution, to keep that happening, to keep opening up, to keep releasing, to keep letting go of limitations that we have. And so, yeah, that would be healing. So it's a process.
How do we know when we are closer to those higher vibrations? How do we know when we are more evolved, let's say?
Well, my book's all about, finding that path to liberation. Basically, what happens is you're not making more karma. And so cause and effect. So everything that we cause will have an effect on us. So as a yoga teacher, I really do believe from the Eastern traditions that we reduce our causing of things and we don't have the effects from it, which is karma. Yeah, so once we start realizing that we're maybe not in balance, mentally, spiritually and physically, then we are probably reducing our cause having effects which are causing karma. Does that make sense? So yeah, our karma level is dropping down, so we're not having all those big lessons. Maybe we have different lessons, but I guess the vibration is measured by the balance, how centered we are, and how centered we can be in a very crazy place. Or, if we can stay in that centeredness, we're probably running at a fairly high vibration. But if we're reacting to it all and responding to it all without any conscious thought or feeling, then yeah, we're probably at a different level of frequency.
Do you connect joy to happiness, or they are somehow different?
That's a good question. No, I don't actually. That's the first answer that comes to me. I don't. To me, happiness is like, yeah, I'm in this moment and I'm feeling happy. I don't feel it as deep, but when I say joy, that just, when I say it, resonates in the depth of my heart. I feel expanded, whereas happiness is kind of a word that I would use and go, I'm really happy, but joyful is like, yeah, it's deep. It's right in my heart, and it doesn't go anywhere. It's there. I know it's there. I can feel it. So yeah, it actually feels different in my heart when I say it, which is interesting because I've noticed that before. So thank you for that question.
Yeah, just by saying that too, it resonates. So I have a smile on my face. I mean, I have a smile the whole time, but now especially. Yeah, that's interesting how it resonates with those energies around the heart.
Power of the word, isn't it? The energy behind the word is so important. We need to be so conscious of what words we do use.
So true. Talk to me about the intention of writing your book, Seeker of Freedom and Joy.
I always felt I was going to be writing about my travels or what I was doing, but it's come out all differently. So in 2008, I was in the desert living with the Aborigines and in a community as a remote area nurse. And I had some pretty big experiences out there. And with all that landscape being so vast, I was feeling expanded in myself. And I started wanting to write my book. And I started to write it. I did 2 chapters and I put it on the shelf when I came back to the east coast of Australia. I came back into living, more Western world out of the desert. And I put it aside, and then a couple of years later, I started it, and then I thought, no, I did a chapter a month, and I finished a book, and I put it on the shelf. And I didn't and I thought, and my friend, I said, I don't know if I'm going to publish this book. And my friend said, you don't have to, you've written it, it's probably very healing. And I go, yeah. So I put it on the shelf, didn't do anything about it. A year later, I was having a massage, and my massage therapist stopped massaging me, and she said, I've got this message. Your father's just turned up. He's got a message for you. And I had all these goosebumps go through my body. And really, what's he saying? And she said, he's saying that you haven't written your book. You haven't written the book. And I'm like, what book? What's he talking about? He said, you have to write it because you weren't given all those gifts to keep them for yourself. You must share them. And I just went, oh my God, wow. So anyway, after that, I didn't use the book, the 2 I started, they got put aside. I went to this workshop and I was writing from the divine author within. And this workshop brought out this whole different book, and that's where I brought up this book that I have now, which is published, Seeker of Freedom and Joy. And it's not the book I thought I was going to write at all.
Right.
It's quite different, but a powerful book because it was written from my heart and a really high space. I basically wrote a lot of it with my eyes closed, to be honest. I was madly typing, and it was written from a very deep level. And as I wrote it, I was healing lots of parts of my heart, which was really interesting. That's what I have to share, that when you write, you will be healing yourself. And that's when the ancestors came and they spent time with me and were giving me lots of guidance on keeping me motivated to do it, because some places were very painful to release. But when I did, oh my God, I felt so light. And it's just grown into more and more lightness.
In your book, the title includes the word freedom. That's a powerful word. Another one's liberation. So what is the meaning of freedom to you? What is to be free?
Freedom to me has been a really big journey because I didn't have freedom when I was a child. Freedom to me is to be empowered, to feel sovereign, and to be really conscious of who I am and what I'm doing, and know that it's all okay and that I trust. That's freedom. Not to be restricted by other people's decisions, comments, all those sorts of things. Yeah, so not to be restricted by what other people think or restricted by your fears.